Alright, everybody. Hopefully I'm going to get you folks there as fast as possible so we can avoid this winter storm rolling in, but it's going to be a close one. I'll keep you posted.
Well, you two ain't very fun passengers.
Some of us enjoy the silence, Agent Green.
Well, I don't. And we got a long flight ahead of us, so we might as well get to know each other a little better.
I'll pass.
Fine, but you're making it very difficult to fall in love with you. How about you, big guy? I don't think we've met before.
I'm a special consultant.
Oh, really? You some kind of climbing expert?
Something like that.
Agent Green, this is Al. He's one of the very few people in this world that have not only survived climbing Mount Everest, but also coming face to face with SCP-1529.
Wow, so you went toe-to-toe with the king of the mountain, huh?
Yeah.
He's become invaluable in the Foundation's efforts to track and contain SCP-1529.
I bet. He's got first-hand experience. So, tell us the story.
Well,
L, do not feel obligated to tell Agent Green here anything.
No, it's fine, Doctor. What exactly do you want to know?
Tell me what happened when you first encountered the creature.
It couldn't have been more than 10 minutes after I left the summit, about 1300. That's the hardest part of the climb. You've reached the top and you're exhilarated and proud of yourself, and then you realize you've just done the most difficult thing you've ever done in your life, and you have to do it all over again, right now, backwards, or you'll end up like the Napping Man.
The Napping Man?
It's a boarding near a ridge on the south side of the mountain. Any expedition on traveling that way passes it. It's a real wake-up call for all the climbers with a god complex that think they're invincible. Anyways, we were starting our descent. The others were 5 or 6 meters ahead of me. I'd been delayed a moment to adjust my hood. That's when I saw it come over the ridge.
What was your reaction when you first saw it?
Surprised, to say the least. We hadn't been told there was anyone else climbing to the top that day. I thought he must have come over from the other side, or gotten left behind by his mates. I shouted and waved my hands in the air to try and get his attention.
What happened when you got its attention?
He looked right at me, and that's when it started. I suddenly felt happy, instant relief. It was like right away all the pain and the soreness and the chill was gone. I didn't have blisters on my feet, and I could feel the tip of my nose again. It was like I was back at home kicking up my feet by the fireplace, like I could forget all my worries and enjoy a well-deserved rest, but... It didn't feel right. Have you ever heard of paradoxical undressing? It's when your body starts to cool down, like really cool down, and your blood vessels dilate, and you start to feel like you're warming up. So you start tearing your clothes off because you feel like you're burning up and you need to cool off. And the next thing anyone knows, you're naked and frozen to death, curled up in a snowbank. I had a mate who went that way in '98.
So you believed you were imagining it?
Right, so I tried to shrug it off. But I couldn't take my eyes off the man who'd started climbing up towards me. And that's when it all went to hell.
You really don't need to go any further if it's going to upset you, Al.
I'm not upsetting him. Am I upsetting you?
No.
See, he's fine. What happened next?
Right away, all that warmth and comfort was gone. Suddenly, I felt cold. Colder than I'd ever been before. Colder than I had a right to be. Couldn't feel my fingers or my face. My lips felt cracked and frozen. I tried to breathe and it was like my lungs were full of water. My legs cramped up and next thing I knew I was down. tried to yell out for help, but all that came out was a whisper. I looked up and that thing was still coming.
How long did it take to reach you?
An hour maybe? Not sure. I couldn't see my watch and I don't think I could have made sense of it anyway. I managed to get my arms on the ground, but I couldn't push myself to my feet. It was getting to the point that even if I could right myself, I wouldn't be able to make it back to camp before nightfall. I was starting to think I wasn't making it off the mountain at all. But what worried me more was the man. The closer he got to me, I started to feel something in the back of my head, something primal, menacing, and above all, hateful.
And what happened when he got to you?
He grabbed me by the shoulders and pulled me up to face it. I was looking right into his goggles. I could see things in them.
See things?
Well, not see them so much, more like feel them. Images and emotions in the back of my mind. Rage and joy and confusion.
What do you mean, confusion?
I don't know. I don't think it was used to people resisting it, so it asked me a question.
It spoke. I've never read about SCP-1529 being verbal.
It didn't speak with words so much. I could hear it, but not with my ears. I saw images of people sitting back in hot tubs, lying by a crackling fire, sunning themselves on the beach, warm, happy people. But I knew their faces. They were faces I'd seen in books and in pictures, and people I'd seen on the way up the mountain who I hadn't seen on the way down. People still lying face down somewhere in the death zone. And I heard its question.
Which was?
You would refuse my gift.
Go on.
I could barely make sense of anything that was going on, but I knew that this thing in front of me was a bigger threat than any storm or any snowdrift. Moving my lips was harder than anything I've ever done, but I did, and I told it, yes.
How do you respond?
I saw more images of those same people lying in the snow, already half dead. It didn't say anything to me in words so much, but it was angry at me. It was offended, outraged, shocked. It was trying to tell me I'd been ungrateful. I asked it, why are you doing this?
And what did it say?
It mocked me. It showed me another one of its victims, probably the first one. It was a face I recognized from old climbing journals, but I'd never seen it in that kind of detail before, or in that condition. He was on his stomach, weak, frostbitten, dying. He was waving and hollering at the thing as I watched it approach from its own perspective. It made me watch every second until it was done. I think watching it was worse than living it would have been.
What happened next?
It was holding me up, so I had just enough strength to ball up my fist. I punched it, hard as I could, every last ounce of strength I had, right in the goggles. They cracked. I could see what was behind them.
And what was that?
Gonna need everybody to buckle up back there. We're getting close to base camp, and it's gonna be a bumpy ride.
What was behind the goggles, El?
Classified information, Agent Green.
But Dr. Buck, I would hate for there to be any secrets between us.
Yeah, she's right. That's a good place to stop for now.
All right, buddy. But I'm gonna get it out of you one of these days.
Thanks for watching the episode. If you'd like to help support us, join our Patreon page like all these wonderful people on screen. And a special thanks goes out to this group, who happen to be our highest donors. Thank you all so much for helping make these videos possible. Also, if you want to buy some awesome SCP gear, go and check out our merch store. You can find the link down below. Anyways, that's it for this episode. Stay safe, and we'll see you all next week.